When nitr0 left Team Liquid, a piece of that team died. Elige was the superstar, Twists the mechanical prodigy, Nath the closer, Stewie the heart, but nitr0 brought them all together. The leader, the captain, Captain America. nitr0 was the team because a great leader plays for the team, wins for the team, loses for the team, gives everything for the team. The leader is the man for whom you would run through a brick wall because he ran through it first and showed the way. The figure who inspires and drives his team by the way he carries himself and devotes himself entirely, solely for the sake of the team's success. Who wouldn't follow such a man? Except nitr0 was never supposed to be the leader or even a role player. He was born and groomed to be a star. An aggressive entry pack player putting up gaudy numbers and dealing out headshots aplenty. That's who nitr0 was meant to be. But destiny calls some to another path. Those who can learn to differentiate their wants from their needs. For these, service is their road to glory, and few have had more glory than nitr0. Tell me better leaders and all you're doing is putting together a list of the top 5 to ever play the position. That's no insult to a man who found his greatest success in his second career journey. After the failure of Stanislaw's tenure, nitr0 took the reins, and for the next 2.5 years, Team Liquid were contending titles in the finals of the biggest events, eventually lifting those cups and plates and ranked in the top 2 of the world. Yet some will tell you a different tale, one of a loser who always fell to the same foe. These fools know not of what they speak. To them, failure is a definitive statement of what a man lacks and will never have. Little do they understand that failure is the path to success. That by testing oneself again and again in the fire of loss and disappointment, a champion is forged. Every great player and leader has fallen time and time again in this game. But what defines these men is their response to defeat. The way they rose again, not certain of victory the next time, but willing to take more blows from life and their fiercest opposition for the prospect of emerging the victor. The tears that burn at your lowest are the confetti of the soul in glory. 9 LAN trophies won. An Intel Grand Slam. Champion of ESL 1 Cologne 2019. This man was no loser. Stanislaw and Carrigan won more series against the 3-time major winning Astralis lineup, but why did they play so few in comparison to nitr0? Because nitr0 came back from soul-destroying beating after beating to halt them before they could reach Astralis in the games that matter. The ones that determine the champion. If the other great leaders thought themselves more capable, they thought as much from the crowd, while nitr0 battled to prove himself worthy again. No leader won more LAN trophies at events featuring the mighty Astralis lineup than nitr0. During a nearly 2-year span in which Astralis ruled supreme, it was only nitr0's Liquid which took the top spot from them and held it for more than 4 months. Every great player and team needs a rival. Without them, their dominance is a solitary endeavour, simply calculated by numbers and trophies hoisted. Their satisfaction is in the fight, the back and forth, adapting to what happened this time and playing your hand the next. The glory is in beating an opponent worthy to be a champion themselves, indeed one who will become one eventually. This is the platform from which the greatest team in history establishes itself at the top. And in these wars, where was nitr0's world #1 player? He had no simple, Ziwu, Device, Nico or Coldzera. Yet did you ever hear him complain or cry out for help? Suggest it was unfair or the task too tough? No. You witnessed him put his helmet back on, pick up his spear and charge towards that immovable object with his shoulder, a battering ram to lead his men anew. I questioned his heart and his head and everything in between, precisely because he made me believe more was possible. That even Astralis could be beaten and subdued. That a North American team could win in a game dominated for the majority of its history by the best European sides. That I could even demand more shows how much Nitro spoiled me. If you see a loser, I see a man who never gave up. You see a player who lost the most times against the greatest lineup in history. I see the only leader who kept dusting himself off and again throwing himself into battle with a foe who was impossible to beat, or so it seemed, until eventually he did beat them. You see the man who was slain by Achilles. I see Hector fighting for his people and his family and never surrendering. North American leaders come and go, but Nitro was one of one.